All right, fifth graders, subtracting fractions. You will be happy or sad perhaps to know that the steps are almost identical to adding fractions. So if adding fractions, we added the numerators, but other than that, it's exactly the same. We find a common denominator, we write equivalent fractions, we subtract the numerators this time, we still keep the denominators the same, and then we simplify or convert it into a mixed number if we have to. And that's all you got to do. I know it's easier said than done, but we'll do some more examples just to show you. So here is one, 4/6 minus 2/12. They already wrote it vertically for us. Remember, if they put it sideways, I forget what your worksheet does. Oops, wrong one. Okay, your worksheet also does it vertically, which is nice. So my denominators 6 and 12 are different, so I cannot subtract them yet. I do need to find a common denominator. So think, okay, how do I do that? Need to find something they have in common. So I find a multiple that they have in common. So 6, 12, 18. Oh, look, 12 is the same. It is in both lists. Let me just switch to a darker color so you can see it a little easier. So now that I know I can use 12 for both, I need to think, okay, what did I multiply by? I'm sorry, friends. I wasn't going to do this, but I need to write them bigger because my pen just will not write small enough for me. All right, 12 is my new denominator. So now I need to write equivalent fractions. So how do I do that? Well, by multiplying. So what do I multiply by here? 2. So I multiply by 2 here, and I get 8. Here, what do I multiply by? Well, it just stayed the same, so 1. So I have 8/12 minus 2/12. Well, 8 minus 2, I can just subtract the numerators to get 6, and then my denominators stay the same. Now, this is an example of one that I have to simplify because I can. I should always ask myself, can I simplify it? In this case, yes, I can. If I wasn't sure what, oh, they're both even, so I can divide by 2. Gives me 3/6. Now I can divide them both by 3, giving me 1/2. Sorry, that should be dividing, not adding. I could have just divided by 6 originally to give me 1/2. Let's do another problem. 4/8 minus 1/4. Again, I'm going to write it bigger, so write it in your notebooks. Step 1, find a common denominator. Again, if you didn't write these in your notebook, or you really can just write it one time, just know you could write like adding, slash subtracting, and then add or subtract the numerators, because everything else is all the same. So if you have it written, pause it and write it in your notebook. All right, I'll keep going. So now that we have this problem, oops, one more slide. So I need to find a common denominator. So looking at both my denominators, 8 and 4. So 8, 16, 24, 4, 8. Ooh, 8 is in both. Now, if I didn't realize that and I went and I used 16, I could also use 16. That would also work. I just would have to simplify it more at the end. Okay? So there's not just one right option. I always just like to choose the smallest option that I can. So I'll show you though how it's the same. So say I use 16. Well, this is times 2 times 2, so I get 8. This one's times 4 and times 4, so I get 4/16. After I subtract them, 8 minus 4, I get 4. 16 stays the same. I can divide these both by 4, giving me 1/4 as my simplified answer. Now, if I had used 8, I would have done 4/8 minus 2/8. That would have given me 2/8 divided by 2. Still gives me 1/4. So whether I had chosen 16 or 8 as my denominator, I still ended up with 1/4 as my answer after I simplified. I'll do one more example. I will tell you the code word for this one is purple, like the color, P-U-R-P-L-E. Write it down so you can put it together at the end. It'll be on the test. There'll be a question. All right, let's do one more example if you want it. Otherwise, I can absolutely work with you in a small group or at another time. So 4/5 minus 2/3. Step 1, what is it? Find a common denominator. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Oh, 15. Boom, love it. So now I have 4/5 minus 2/3. So now I know my common denominator is 15. What's my next step? Write equivalent fractions. So what do I multiply 5 by? I multiply it by 3. So then I multiply the top by 3 as well. So I get 12. What do I multiply the bottom by? 5. 2 times 5 is 10. So now I subtract. 12 minus 10 is 2. Denominator stays the same. Now I ask myself, can I simplify that? Well, I can divide 2 by 2, but I can't divide 15 by 2 without getting a remainder. So that one is my simplified answer. Like I said, let me know if you need more examples, more help. I am more than happy to do it. This is not an easy thing to get. So good luck. You can do it.